Art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. Hi, hope you're having a great day. This video is about three things. One, anti-intellectualism, curiosity being dead, and how Matilda is relevant and one of the greatest movies of all time.
What is this trash you're reading?
I remember you was conflicted.
It's not trash, Daddy. It's lovely.
Misusing your influence.
This is filth trash.
Two, why the term scaring the is problematic. And also playing Kendrick Lamar sad songs to my friend on a party bus on his 30th birthday as a satirical social experiment to showcase why there's certain music for certain vibes. Let's not be stupid.
Scaring the hose, scaring the hose.
Happy birthday to my boy.
Kendrick Lamar trying to talk to me about my childhood traumas. I don't give a fuck.
Haven't needed anything more.
Number three, how the rise of content creators and social media overall has overshadowed great art. And great art still exists. It's just harder to find depending on your algorithm. Nowadays, people are, instead of washing away the dust of everyday life with art, they're washing away the dust of everyday life with other people's dust. And then they just become more dirty. It's a bunch of dirty people walking around.
I'm fed up with all this reading. Sit up and look at the TV.
Don't you worry, Matilda. I'm taking over the TV screen. See, I know your dad and everybody else has an agenda, right? To get you to be distracted and sabotage you. But ultimately, you want to learn, right? You want to engage in something where you can pull from a meaningful piece of art, right? Like a book. And more people need to pick up a book, but they won't because they're being distracted, living vicariously through others with this thing called content. And art seems to be slowly getting smaller and smaller as content grows larger and larger. And the attention span of the average human being is less than a goldfish. But don't worry, me and Miss Honey, we here to save the day.
Don't sneer at educated people, Mr. Wormwood.
Let me just add one more. Number four, discernment is the ability to judge well and make intelligent decisions by accurately perceiving and understanding things, especially when they're not obvious, and distinguishing between options or situations. A lot of people lack discernment. Enjoy the video. Of all the questions to solve the problems of the world today, the one I choose to focus in on is a question by Drake's producer, who says, what do people who don't like Drake's music do when the tings are around? What do they listen to? Him, bodies. And that brings me to my word of the day again, substance. Now, why do we lack substance? I believe we lack substance because curiosity is dead. People aren't curious about things anymore.
God forbid I'm a sensitive gangster.
The world thinks that you
I'm a whore.
They're just living vicariously through their lives, right? And ultimately, you realize that the time you're wasting, you're not even enjoying. You're just being distracted. And that brings me to my next thing. We can't sit still. We can't do anything without background noise. We can't go on walks unless we playing music. We can't do our work unless we got another screen where we're watching a streamer tell us about their day.
I've discovered that I think I'd rather work alone more than anything. You know, I used to have assistants a lot around me, and then on days when they wouldn't come, it would be a lot more productive, you know? I mean, I think I have to learn more and just not to work around what's around me, just work with what I think, I guess.
Content moves the clock, and the art, it dances with your soul, right? Like, the art's gonna move something within you, but the content, it'll be 3 p.m., next thing you know it's 6 p.m., and you just doom scrolling. What do people who don't like Drake's music do when the tings are around? What do they listen to? The word ting, he's referring to women.
I guess he might be the horniest man in America, huh?
He's saying, what do you do when you don't have Drake in your life? Now I have a Drake vinyl down here. It's Take Care, great project. But back to Drake's producer, man, Boy Wonder. And it's interesting because your name is Boy Wonder. Like you're a boy, but you're not really wondering in life. Like that's the thing. You need to wonder just a little bit more.
And I wonder if you know what it means.
Some people don't wander. Don't let their brain wander. Like I'm saying, like they don't have the capacity of sitting in silence. When silence is where growth happens. And I mean, no music, no lights, no nothing, just you and your insides.
Expand your horizons. But this is a really interesting thing because women, right? I went to a concert, a J. Cole concert. And J. Cole is kind of like the Adam Sandler of hip hop.
I can't do it.
What do you mean you can't do it? You said you gotta go, just go.
He's the Adam Sandler because he is very famous, very well known, household name, but he's not necessarily critically acclaimed. Like Adam Sandler is not going to win an Oscar for one of his films. J. Cole's not going to win a Grammy for one of his albums, right? However, he's huge and he's well respected by his core fan base. And that's like Adam Sandler. Also, Adam Sandler is like the humble representation of the average man, right? You look at Adam Sandler, look at what his attire is. He's wearing a baggy shirt, some gym shorts. He's usually playing basketball at some random park in New York City. And that's exactly J. Cole. J. Cole has those quote unquote homeless fits. All right, he bike rides around the city. He keeps a basketball with him. He represents the common man. It's like J. Cole, Adam Sandler, and Billy Joel are all the same prototype for different genres of men and women, right? And I went to a J. Cole concert because a lot of his audience is actually women. And I said, Kendrick Lamar or Drake? Choose one. As a J. Cole fan, Drake or Kendrick?
Yo, you hear that? Well, I gotta go. I'm walking away.
Yeah, you got to answer the question. Nope. What I learned is a lot of them, it's tough. It wasn't easy. It's almost like, man, even though Kendrick Lamar be making music about therapy and the black struggle and politics and economics, he also has love songs like Love, Luther, Die Hard, right? It's not all just one thing, man. Sometimes you gotta expand your horizons, and sometimes it'll be very rewarding. I think that this tweet right here is extremely problematic, but it's coming from something. And what it's coming from is this whole notion that there's music out there that's gonna scare the
How?
Thank you, Riley Freeman. Can you say that one more time? Scaring the
How?
Scaring the
O-V-Ho.
Scaring the
The idea of scaring the hoes is pretty common vernacular in internet music circles.
One thing I want to make sure I'm very clear on with this video, you do not need to be educating 24/7 in your content or your entertainment. I'm not saying that at all. And I feel like a great artist knows the balance. They know when, okay, let's tap into the lyrics and make sure there's a message that people can pull from, but let's also have some fun, right? That's a good balance. If you go to a Kendrick Lamar show, I went to the GNX tour, sat front row. You think I was sitting there with my book, my dictionary, my encyclopedias? No, I was turning up.
We survived outside, all from the music, nigga, well.
There's love songs, party songs, club anthems, all of that. What do people who don't like Drake's music do when the tings are around?
Favorite project that dropped besides my own is Drake and Party Next Door shit, no cap. And if you hang with any type of women on a regular basis, you will probably say the same.
Boy, if you don't get the fuck out my face.
It's almost a defensive mechanism because the current landscape of music isn't necessarily calling for only Drake to have the impact on radio and club music. I mean, there's a little bit of a shift happening, but even to dive a little bit deeper, right? Drake's producer then goes on to talk about vibes. Like, what about the vibe?
Tough break, nigga.
Right? I don't know exactly what he's hinting at, but I assume he's talking about, like, when you play Drake's music, the vibes seem to be good. Like, everybody seems to be, talking. things are in motion, right? I guess in this world that Boy Wonder lives in. So it's interesting because there's vibes, right? Vibes means there's a certain feeling for certain things. Like I wouldn't be at a birthday party playing Meet the Grams by Kendrick, but just because I was curious, Boy Wonder, I tested the theory. So my boy had a 30th birthday party.
I'm on the aux. We turning up today. It's my boy's birthday. You know what I'm saying? Special day. We got the party bus. Y'all see it. Happy birthday, Dre. He turned 30. We turning up, bro. I'm gonna get my boy right. You ready? Come on, bro.
We had a party bus, and I played Meet the Grams.
Our parents make mistakes that affect us until we grown. Hey, you're a good kid that need good leadership.
Who the fuck told them to put that on?
What? Huh?
To get crazy in here.
Nah, my fault, bro.
And he over here got Kendrick Lamar trying to talk to me about my childhood traumas. I don't give a fuck.
Sometimes artists could have multiple vibes within their discography. So I could play a Kendrick Lamar song like this at a birthday party. It won't go over well.
Happy birthday to my boy.
I really
don't know what the hell is going on right now.
But I could then play TV off and now we dancing. With any artist, I could choose Taylor Swift. I could play a more lyrical, in-depth song on Folklore and get this reaction at a birthday party.
I never needed anything more. Whispers.
Turn me up, yup.
But that same song might do better if you're listening with your headphones on your commute, or if you're just sitting with yourself and you want to like listen to a story.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Dre. Happy birthday.
Driver, take me home.
However, if you are turning up, I could play you this record.
You don't know about me. Hey, oh.
What do people who don't like Drake's music do when the tings are around? What do they listen to? It's almost like you want to take away substance from conversations in order to feel safe and confident to be in these rooms. See, when you know a lot about everything, you're never scared to do anything or walk into any room. You could walk into any room as you are because you're never afraid of the conversations that are gonna come with it. Some of y'all be intimidated to walk into certain rooms because you're not knowledgeable. If you're knowledgeable, your confidence level is going to go high. If you know a little bit about everything, your confidence level is going to be through the roof. I could be talking to a woman on a subway, right, in her 50s, maybe 60s, and we could have a conversation about Carole King. We'll start talking about Tapestry. What's your favorite song off that album? But obviously, there's certain songs for certain vibes. But what I'm learning about people is your only vibe party bus, club, hookah smoke, alcohol? Is that your only vibe? Or do you go home and sit with yourself for a moment? Because I know one thing, yeah, I might not want to hear these songs when I'm out at a party, but sometimes if I'm by myself at the crib and I'm trying to calm down, I put on Stevie Wonder, I put on this album.
Around the sun, the earth, no she's revolving.
I feel good. It calms me down. You put on some Off the Wall by Michael Jackson, man, it's the equivalent of drinking wine on a Sunday afternoon. It's beautiful. And I feel like the vibe that you're going for is maybe a reflection of your lifestyle, and maybe you need to make some changes. That's just my observation. Maybe we should just mix it up. Maybe we should be more well-versed. But again, I don't think people like to sit with themselves and be still and think. Like, that's why people don't go for art. And I feel like content creation and just basic level doom scrolling is the new thing. And that's why people really don't have substance anymore. The conversations you have with certain people might not be as good.
A girl does not get anywhere by acting intelligent. I mean, take a look at you and me. You chose books. I chose looks.
Now, Matilda, she was a lifelong student. Normalize being a lifelong student, learning. Your confidence is gonna grow.
Yeah, like the times of my life where I feel the most confident, it's always when I'm prioritizing learning and my intellectual curiosity and doing everything I can to maintain my neuroplasticity. And I think there's something so valuable about deep work and focusing on something for a long period of time.
That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm in search of. And when I'm in search of those things, that's when I'm at my happiest, because it reminds me of what it was like to be a child, where you're just walking around curious, learning things. But people graduate high school or graduate college and they think they could stop learning. And it shows. It really does show the people who stop learning once they graduate school. They get into their field. Money trees is the perfect place for shade. And then from there, they just focused on the money. Everything else is background for them. And I think that's a really sad way to live. Because art, man, art is a beautiful thing to escape with, man. I remember there was a quote from Pablo Picasso, and he says, "Art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life." But it's a shame that nowadays people are, instead of washing away the dust of everyday life with art, they're washing away the dust of everyday life with other people's dust. And then they just become more dirty. It's a bunch of dirty people walking around. That's why Denzel Washington's so disappointed in us. Y'all saw that quote from Denzel? He was pretty much saying, like, you don't have to be good at anything anymore. You just got to be followed.
You actually had to be good at what you did. Yeah, and when I was young. I'm not talking about you specifically, but you don't have to be good now. You just have to be eccentric. You just have to do something stupid. You just have to get people to follow you, you know. And the thing about following is you got to have something when they get there.
Like, I had to master my craft, but nowadays it's not about that. It's just about having some sort of influence. If you can do something dumb enough and get people's attention, you'll get just as far as I am. And one prime example of this was Timothy Chalamet, right? Timothy Chalamet, great actor. He had this whole quote at one of the award shows about just being on a quest for greatness. Like, he wants to desperately be great.
I know we're in a subjective business, but the truth is, I'm really in pursuit of greatness. I know people don't usually talk like that, but I want to be one of the greats. I'm inspired by the greats. I'm inspired by the greats here tonight. I'm as inspired by Daniel Day-Lewis, Marlon Brando, and Viola Davis as I am by Michael Jordan and Michael Phelps, and I want to be up there. So I'm deeply grateful to that. This doesn't signify that, but it's a little more fuel. It's a little more ammo to keep going. Thank you so much.
And people had an issue with it. They thought it was like conceited. Like, they thought, oh my God, what's gotten into him? He's big-headed just because he wants to be great. Like, that in today's world is seen like, oh my God, like, what about the little people? Like, I'm so sorry that me wanting to be great is intimidating for you who wants to be basic.
You just have to get people to follow you. You just have to get people to follow you. You just have to get people to follow you.
My mind was wired a little bit off than usual. And I think I got to a place where I was literally doom scrolling. I was on TikTok for 3 hours a day, scrolling. I'm going to tell you one streamer I was tuned into, Kai Cenat. And Kai Cenat specifically, I was watching this thing called Streamer University. And I can't lie, this was entertaining. And that's one thing I want to make sure I'm not doing. I don't want to come across like, this content from streamers are just brain dead terrible. Like, I don't want to say that. These are good creators, right? They're doing something good. It's just not rewarding for me to watch. But ultimately, it was passing the time. And that Streaming University stuff was fun to watch. I was walking around talking about, are you my ball? Like, all these things. It was fun to watch.
We gon' fuck up the world, excuse me, but it's that your girl. Didn't mean to possess your girl. Baby, I'm high profile, don't ever tell them you met me, girl. They gon' think that you rep me, girl. 5'7", I'm messy, girl. I'ma pass you the name, he got time for your bestie, girl. Niggas know that I'm best dressed.
But Streamer University reminded me of a video on YouTube. And that video on YouTube was a Frank Ocean video. It was called Frank Ocean, The Last Day of High School. And it was Frank Ocean's song in the background, but it was footage from the last day of high school from this random school in the 90s, right? I think it was the 90s.
Where are you gonna be in 10 years?
I'm gonna be in bed with Denzel Washington. No, I'm just
10 years? Chilling in my mansion, yo.
I will be in New York making major motion pictures for foreign and American films.
Where are you
Where you gonna be in 10 years?
Huh?
Where you gonna be in 10 years?
Hopefully I'll be on TV.
10 years, rich, famous, and I'm not big. Got 10 kids in the great sheet. I'm gonna be in Hollywood. About 10 years, I should have a nice job, get paid, I ain't gonna lie.
And the thing that I picked up on is everybody was the main character. Like when you watch that video, the difference between Streamer University is the biggest creators were the main characters. The ones with the biggest following. They had all these streamers at this university. But the ones that carried, I guess, the most power around that campus were the most popular streamers, right? DDG, Kai Cenat, so on and so forth. Whereas when I watched this clip from this high school in the 90s, the main character was the cameraman because everybody was full of energy and everybody felt important. And there was no phones. There was no power structure with social media. It wasn't about the following. Everybody just had their own friend groups, their own niche, and people respected that. And the energy you get from all these different genres of people, right, is so high vibrational. And I kind of missed that. I started grieving without knowing these people at all. Because not that these people are dead. Some of them are probably alive and well with kids. But there was something that felt so alive with me watching that video that I feel like is lost in the world today.
Can I get that question?
Where you gonna be in 10 years?
Where am I gonna be in 10 years?
We're gonna be making money.
I'm gonna be on the screen, man.
Oh yeah, like this and like that.
And there was this one quote in the comment section, and it just really stuck with me. It says, "A genuine representation and manifestation of what potential looks like in physical form. The last day of high school, the beginning of the rest of our lives. We were nothing, but we could have been anything. A melancholy reminder that life is stages, and once one stage is done, there is no going back. What a bizarre feeling this video provides. Beautiful." And that stuck with me because I genuinely believe that once you graduate high school, you could literally be anything, but the real world immediately gets its hands on you, and a lot of people get stuck. A lot of people stop searching. Money trees is the perfect place for shade, and that's just how I feel. You need to make your money, but on the quest to make your money, make sure you're learning in the process. Make sure you're learning something new. If there's not a dollar sign attached to something these days, people don't even bother to immerse themselves in it. Honestly, it reminds me of being a liberal arts major. Like, people used to be disgusted when you told them that you're majoring in the arts. Anything. I was a journalism major, and people used to look at me crazy. They used to be like, yo, so like, how you gonna make money? How you gonna make money doing that? And I was like, man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, people need to read something. What you gonna do with your degree? Like, okay, what you gonna do with this ass whooping, huh? Since we asking questions. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you definitely know how much Matilda means to me. I think I reference Matilda in my videos like parsley flakes on food. It's always sprinkled in. But in this iconic movie, even after all these years, there's something I pick up on every single time I watch the movie. Now, the obvious is Matilda is a very intelligent girl, and she's from a extremely abusive background, right? Like, her parents, they didn't know her age. She would go to her parents and be like, hey, I'm ready to start school.
How old is Matilda?
4. I'm 6.5, Mommy.
You're a liar.
I want to go to school.
School.
And all they wanted for Matilda was for her to be home to pick up packages. That's it. Like, you are of only one use. Stay home, and when the doorbell rings, pick up the packages.
It's out of the question. Who would be here to sign for the packages? Now go watch TV like a good kid.
The dad prioritized cheap entertainment, which was like these random game shows on TV, over books. And he also prioritized his family business, where he was pretty much being a criminal.
Daddy, you're a crook.
But one thing I never picked up on, right? I love the character Miss Honey, and the Miss Honey classroom was always iconic because it was colorful and it was this safe space. But one thing I never picked up on is whenever the principal would come to the classroom, and the principal was literally the opposite of what we're talking about in this video, right? Of like the intellectualism and art. She is the complete opposite. She's all about capitalism, consumerism, and most importantly, just being dull. I never noticed that Miss Honey's classroom would go from this very colorful and bright place to this very dull sepia tone classroom with literally nothing in it.
Put away the art projects. Put away anything colorful. Oh, don't speak unless you're spoken to. Don't laugh. Don't smile.
Right? And then on the top of the, I believe it was the chalkboard, there was a message, and the message said, if you are having fun, you are not learning. I know what some people say, right? Ignorance is bliss. Sometimes it's better to not know. You know, the more you know, sometimes it could carry on a heavy weight with your shoulders, and it's a lot. Knowing a lot could be a lot. But I'll say this for all the people that think ignorance is bliss. There's a quote that people always throw out there. They say, curiosity killed the cat. Curiosity killed the cat. Nobody wants to be dead, right? But people never finish the quote. The quote is, curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought him back. And the reason why that's a thing is because, yes, curiosity, it broke the cat down. It was like, yo, I'm searching for answers, but it's a lot. But when you find the answer, when you find it, it'll bring you right back. And then you'll be bigger and better than ever. That's the beauty. The satisfaction that you get from learning something is unmatched. It'll never be beat. And as always with the channel, we end off with the hug. Bring it in.
We gon' fuck up the world, excuse me, but it's that your girl. Didn't mean to possess your girl. Baby, I'm high profile, don't ever tell them you met me, girl.